Well, winter has returned with a vengeance here, so I figured I'd kind of catch up on some of the projects I did last summer and a couple of things I'm doing right now even. But right now, I want to talk about this project I did last summer because it's really turned out great. I know it might be a problem for a lot of you, and this is I guess, my solution to it. I had a stone steps that comes out to my back basement door, my sliding door there, and it was always great. I love the steps, but steps, wintertime, ice, snow, and all that, and a railing is something you need before before you really need it. Otherwise, that's a problem. So, and really, how I did this, I made this out of 3D printed parts, which is makes this a real cool project, and chain link fence parts. I would have never dreamed when I started 3D printing that I'd be doing stuff like this for the construction and the stability I'm getting out of this stuff. Of course, they've gone a long way from the strength of 3D printed parts as well as materials. And really, the 3D printing aspect of this made the construction of this so much better. And actually much quicker to assemble. I think I only had a couple days in this one by the time I got started. So let's just get started. So this is what I did. And this is I had these stone steps out here. They're great, like I said, but in the wintertime, ice storms and all that, you need something to hang on to. And so I figured I already had a couple pieces left over from this fence I did a couple years ago. I thought, well, let's just add a few more pieces to it. In fact, the railing itself here is nothing more than the railing from the top railing of the fence. And all the other parts are just the pieces you can get for the railing. I did have to weld up these two pieces of aluminum and a couple light holders as well. And on the end up here is another little aluminum insert I had to put in. But everything else on the internal parts, as I'll talk about, and the end parts are 3D printed. So kind of cool. So the only post I had to concrete in was the final in bottom post. The other one I attached to the retaining wall, and the top one actually bolts right onto the post at the top where the fence is. And so it worked out real well from the concrete aspect. I did not cut this post off. I went down as deep as I possibly could to really secure it, and it is very secure. So let's see here. This is the upper post. Now I had these you can get two different types of length of straps when it comes to these fences. These are the longer ones. And I rebent them, but I kind of underbent them. So when I finally put my little lag bolts onto this, my torque screws, it really kind of sucked that post right down to the retaining wall, and it's very secure. Um, the post itself basically prevent the lateral side-to-side motion, and the connection at the top, I'll show you here, that's really helped a lot when it comes to the pulling, when you're pulling in the lateral, the inline stress, I should say. Now the bottom one, what's kind of cool about these straps again, is that they're adjustable. You can raise it up and down and get it just right. The only thing I really had to kind of fuss about was getting this angle welded on under the railing. That had to be at a pretty precise angle, but it wasn't that hard to figure out. And how I did that, what you're not seeing here, this is a little insert I put on the inside here. This is a 3D printed part that holds the nuts. I did not want to have any straps or anything on the top because your hand's riding down this. So I wanted it nice and smooth just for comfort as well as water prevention. And so what you see here, I put this aluminum piece on the right angle, drilled the holes. In fact, I even used the this 3D printed part as the guide. I drilled on the bottom side using these holes as the guide prior to mounting this. And what I did, I press fit these stainless steel nuts into this PVC. This is PECG printed at 100%, so it's nice and strong. It's out, and really, this is internally out of the sunlight, so it should last like forever. The only tricky part was when I installed this, I put a little bit of epoxy right in the middle, slid it up where I can see the holes here, had it upside down, and once I saw the holes up there, I went ahead and put some nuts in there, and that kind of sucked it up to the top, and that's where it stayed until the epoxy set up. And I just took the bolts out and did the same on the other end, and so it was all done. bolts in place, ready to bolt it onto the railing. So the ID is the same diameter of the semi diameter, so to speak, or the arc of the 3D printed part. And I have to say, this is just my first test piece right here, and I have to say this really made this real simple. Otherwise, I don't know how I would have got an internal bolt like this without doing, something like this. So kind of blows me away how you can use it 3D printed. So when I went ahead and mounted it, I just put it right in place where the holes were drilled, mounted my arms to it right there, stainless steel of course, and easy peasy. It was great. I did try to, sand and grind any sharp surfaces down, because when your hand's sliding down, you don't want to be running into anything pretty rough. But even this is on the bottom, and now I've used it for a few months, and you don't even notice it. So it worked out just fine. Now the end cap here is also PETG. It looks like it's solid. It's not. I left a little channel in the bottom you can't see here, and I caulked it in place, but I did not caulk the bottom. I did that just in case there's any leakage, condensation, whatever, so it should drain out this little bottom place here. Okay, let's go back here. Let's see here. Now the top part, and again, I don't know why this thing looks like it's an angle, but this is actually straight through here. What I did, I welded up layers of aluminum, and each one's a little bit less narrow, and then I ground it down to make that round circle like, and it just fit in that tube perfectly. And so when I got it to the area I wanted to, I went ahead and drilled a hole right through the pipe, right through the aluminum, and that holds it all in place. And then I used another strap here on the top part to secure it to the upper post. Now these upper posts, that's where my gate's at. And when I did that gate years ago, I put in extra concrete, extra length, and they are all very, very secure. Now, to keep water from penetrating into where the bolt is, I went ahead and just printed up this little 3D printed part here. This is the bottom where the holes are, and there's a top part without holes, just the water. And I also goobered it all up with silicone caulk, and it's not gonna be a problem. And the end cap, I did the same. The end cap just slides over, closes the end, lots of silicone, and the only thing that really sticks out is this bar that really is straight. I don't know why this picture makes it look like it's bent, but oh well. So the lights, I really wanted lights that were out of the way, so if I'm doing a weed whopper or something, I'm not like, destroying them, which I've done once or twice. So these are motion detected lights. I really like that. And what I did, when I made these aluminum pieces here, these are just triangle pieces to kind of hold the railing up, but the light holding, that's all actually completely separate. The only piece that's really welded to the bar here that holds the light, this is the only one that's welded. The back side's the same piece, it's just not welded. So when I got it in the right position, I just torqued this bolt down, stainless steel again, of course, and it's just perfect. I've used these lights a lot. They last a long time, and really if I need to switch them, it's 2 bolts, so not bad at all. This is it at night. I really wanted it at night. I like the motion. That way when you need it, well, it's there when you need it. And they last a long time. It does an excellent job of lighting, better than my old ones. My old ones were sitting much lower. These are actually up higher on the assembly of the that holds the railing, and so it kind of illuminates the whole thing. I'm really happy how this worked out. So anyway, that's my solution. So if you have a same need, use the same link fence parts, cheap, easy to get, makes it look like one piece. And I've actually had some friends come over who automatically just start using the railing because they didn't realize that I put it up, but it was just there for them. So yeah, it worked just great. I have no complaints. So anyway, that's the solution I have. So if you want any of these 3D parts I mentioned, you can find them at OTandAT. Just go there, and that's in Thingiverse, and download them. And anyway, if this is your problem, well, hopefully this may be your solution. So hope this helps. Have a good day.